We are going to begin with poems about religion, the supernatural, and the mystical. And we are going to start with Ode to Psyche. The speaker addresses the ode to the goddess Psyche, asking her to hear these tuneless numbers and to pardon him for singing her own secrets into her ear. The speaker is unsure of whether he has dreamt of the winged Psyche or has even seen her with her own eyes. The speaker describes his wanderings in the forest thoughtlessly, and he nearly faints with surprise at the sight of two fair creatures embracing next to a stream. The two creatures lay on the grass in an embrace, and their lips do not touch. The speaker thinks that he knows whom the winged boy is, Eros, and wonders if the person that he is embracing is Psyche. In the same way, the speaker recalls that Psyche is the latest born and the loveliest vision of all gods and goddesses of Mount Olympus. She is very beautiful, more than Phoebus' sapphire regioned star or Vespa's amorous glowworm of the sky. But the speaker laments that despite her great beauty, she does not have a temple dedicated or devoted for worshipping her like all the other gods and goddesses have. There is no old way of worshiping the goddess that has been attributed to her. The speaker declares that he will be her choir and priest. The speaker's desire to glorify and worship the goddess is found in the line, "I see and sing by my own eyes inspired, so let me be thy choir and make a moan upon the midnight hours," and ends with, "Yes, I will be thy priest." The speaker wishes to build an altar of worship or glorification and a temple to her in his heart where no one else can have access to it. The sanctuary that he wishes to build will be surrounded by dark clustered trees, streams, and stars without a name, with an open window to let warm love to come in. This is an ode dedicated to Psyche, the goddess of the soul and the mind, sleeping in the forest, and vows to build a temple to her. He won't build it with his hands, but that this temple will be designed and constructed in his imagination. Nevertheless, this will not make it less beautiful or less real. The romantic poets sought creative imagination or inspiration in their minds, and Keats fully embraces such source of inspiration in the poem. Thinking that he has caught a glimpse of Psyche and Eros embracing, he is entranced by the idea that there once was a soul, Psyche, so pure that love himself, Eros, fell in love with her. Lost is the sensual daydreaming of the goddess. The speaker, the private and protected temple that he wishes to build for Psyche, thus creating a reverential tone. However, Keats also alludes to the speaker himself taking on the love-struck characteristic of Eros. Therefore, the ode is about how the god of love becomes enraptured by Psyche and how the speaker also falls in love with the goddess. Psyche has not been worshipped as she would have been before the faded hierarchy. The speaker, however, intends to build an elaborate temple to ensure that Psyche's story never dies, thus uniting the ideal, the temple Psyche deserves, with the reality of her neglect in contemporary life. The ode also shows Keats experimenting with a sonnet form that renders Psyche the most loosely structured of all his poems. Keats makes great use of assonance, reading to the sensual aspects of the poem with words such as deepest and beneath to emphasize the contrast between how other goddesses have been worshipped and what is lacking for Psyche. The effect of this free-form sonnet is one of spontaneity, in which the structure mirrors the speaker's flow of thinking. The verse varies from the address to the goddess to recollection and then to a daydream in the future. The myth of Psyche, the mortal who is loved by Eros himself and who after many trials is defiled, is known, and its allegorical implications too. The poem has a vision which is originally a dream as he wanders thoughtlessly and sees Psyche and Eros making love. Christianity had destroyed the native visionary power of the mythic relationship to nature. Perhaps a new kind of humanist paganism was possible to a modern world of self-consciousness and secular knowledge void of Christian orthodoxy. Psyche's the human soul is defiled. The poem concludes with the goddess humanized, internalized, her temple now built in some untrodden region of the mind, in the imagination, in the heart. There the poet will labor among branched thoughts, new grown with pleasure pain, in a garden prepared for her appearance. While Eros meets Psyche in a dark room, Keats will provide a bright torch and a casement open at night to let warm love in. The poem begins with a question and ends with hope. The poem is concerned with myth, worship, neglect, love union, devotion, beauty, and reality in life.